So why are worms so important to us kind of as a society now? Because it's not something you hear a lot about in the UK, really.
Well, food security, everyone has to eat, and it's soil. Worms make the soil, they make the earth. Sadly, due to industrial agricultural practices, we've lost 83% of nutrients since the 1850s in our soil. I mean, it's amazing that we're still walking around, really. I think in the 70s, you needed to eat one orange. If you ate one orange in the 70s, you'd need to eat equivalent like 7 or 8 now. So we're really nutrient deficient.
Yeah.
But worms can help. We can replace synthetic fertilizers with vermiculture. And that's been practiced all around the world, but it just hasn't really caught on here yet. So that's my job, trying to spread the good word, the good worm word.
Yeah.
But it's in the States, in India, Philippines. In the Philippines, the government train their farmers how to farm worms, and then they buy the worm manure off them, and then they give it them back for free because they understand how important it is to the soil and for food production. And they've been decimated by GM in the past. And the president is a bit of a, he's not
worm fan.
Well, not a worm. I mean, he's got, he's questionable. He's got other things questionable, but he's supporting organic agriculture, surprisingly. So, yeah,
well,
you would have thought.
Yeah,
some good. In India, there's over 200,000 worm farmers in India.
Gosh.
So yeah, it's catching on. It creates livelihoods for people. You're turning waste into wealth. It's just waste. It's a waste product that you're turning into a very high value fertilizer. You only need 1 tablespoon of worm manure to feed a plant for 3 months.
Gosh.
So
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So how, well, there's 2 different products that are created by worms, aren't there? You kind of get the worm castings.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the terminology is right. Worm
vermicompost, worm castings, worm poo, worm manure, whatever you like, all the same thing.
But then you also have the worm wee.
Yes, so you have to be careful with the worm wee. It's like a mysterious fluid that comes through the worm farm. So if the worm farm has gone anaerobic, the liquid will also be anaerobic. So if your worm farm's gone bad, stay away from your worm wee.
Okay.
So if it smells bad, don't touch it. You'll kill your plants. You don't know what's in it.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So how would you use so is the worm wee what you'd use as your kind of replacement fertilizer?
Fertilizer, yeah. So you dilute that 1 to 10 liquid fertilizer, but you can also make a liquid fertilizer with the worm manure. So we sell worm poo tea bags for plants, not people. So you put a tea bag in a watering can, let it brew for 24 hours, and all the nutrients and the microbes, the beneficial microbes, go into the water, and you've got liquid plant feed as well. You can spray that on the plant as a foliar spray.
Oh, right. So they absorb it through the leaves and things too?
Yeah, through the stem, through the cell walls.
Oh, right. Okay, that's interesting.
So worm tea is the way to go.
Oh, right. And as you say, that helps remove bad bacteria and things as well.
It's just full of goodness, And Rhonda Sherman, who is the international worm queen, really, she says stay away from worm wee. But other people use it on a big scale. I think in Australia there's a flower farm, and they use the leachate to feed their flowers. So they're using it on a big scale, but it's just something to be cautious of if your worm farm's gone bad, is to be careful with the leachate. And
how does the worm farm go bad? Is it just not anaerobic?
So because anaerobic, it's been overfed. There's not enough oxygen.
So that's you're giving way too much to the worms.
You're giving way too much food. So you want to. Worms have only got very little mouths. Actually, it's a muscle. It's not a mouth. So the smaller you break the pieces up of the food, the easier it'll be for the worms to digest. Well, they're not actually eating the food. They're eating the microorganisms that are breaking down the food. So the more surface area you can create, the more surface area for the microorganisms.
All right, so the worms don't actually eat the food as such?
No, so the bacteria, the fungi, the protozoa, the nematodes that are working to break the waste down.
Because it sounds kind of counterintuitive in a way, doesn't it? That you want to obviously compost your waste, but then the worms are eating what's actively composting your waste.
Yeah. I know. It works.
Interesting. Yeah, but it works. So that's
works.
the most important thing.
It works. Yeah. So a teaspoon of worm manure contains more microorganisms than humans on the planet.
Gosh.
So it's alive.
Yeah.
It's alive. It's alive.
It's pretty crazy.
Sadly, the land and our farmland is mostly dead and doesn't have much biology in it because we're spraying it with chemicals that irritate the microorganisms, and obviously the worms. It's a salt. Salts. Worms don't like salts, and that's what chemical fertilizers are.
Okay. Yeah, so that's, well, as we know, there's a huge issue with our farmland soils. We've got less than 30 years left of harvests.
I think I've been saying that for we've been saying that for like 10 years.
I'm pretty sure we said that when we did that pilot episode, which was at least 2 years ago.
I'm sure I've been saying it for a long time.
Yeah.
So we're probably at 10 years now, aren't we? 10, 20 years.
That's it, yeah, that's true. So, that's a big problem. And as you say, the quality of the soil as well is in significant decline. And you gave the example of oranges, but I know that broccoli's lost 70% of its nutritional content. So it kind of makes you wonder what on earth you're actually eating.
Yeah.
Fibre and water, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing we're still walking around. We're so resilient.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine what we could be, our capacity. Yeah, it's amazing.